Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. So you want to have a space approximately yoga mat sized. If you have a yoga mat, that will work perfect. Otherwise, just somewhere you can comfortably be on the ground that's got your arm length, both sides, and then you should be good. So go ahead and lay down onto the ground. Get your back firmly set onto the ground and get your feet into a butterfly position like so. And we're just going to relax into this position and try and work on some nice deep breaths here. So hands on your belly. Inhale, fill into your stomach. And then exhale. Try and bring your hands down. I'm really trying to feel like you're getting a lot of expansion in your body. Nice big powerful exhale. We'll go one more. Last one here, big inhale. And big exhale. Nice. Now, grab your knees. Kind of tuck them gently towards your chest. And we're going to rock side to side. So just kind of warming up the low back and the hips. Just gentle rocking side to side. Trying to allow your back to relax and just move to accommodate motion. And just keep up nice calm breathing while you're doing this. Doesn't have to be quite so volume emphasized as what we did earlier. You want to make sure you're maintaining a rhythm. And go ahead and pause. And we're going to rock forwards and back. Just kind of tuck your knees in more and let them go forwards. I like to exhale as I tuck in and then inhale as I open. You can do whatever you find to be more comfortable. Last one, and let your legs gently relax down. First one we're going to be doing is you're going to extend your leg forwards. So you're matching your thighs, and then we're going to do some rotation and get your thigh involved. So you want to really twist your foot out, and then point and really twist in. And then twist out and twist in. I'll rotate just so you can see what that looks like. So twist out, and point, and twist in. So you're gonna go like that. So go for about 7 in this direction, keeping the thighs nice and level. And then you're going to go the other direction. So pause, and then you're gonna point and rotate out as you bring that foot up. So really feel that rotation happening with your thigh. Keep your abs engaged, your glutes engaged. If this position's a little hard on your hip flexor, feel free to bring it up a little bit higher. Again, just that nice calm breathing. And let that leg relax down. And we'll go for the other side. So extend, and then point, and rotate. The goal here is to really work on emphasizing that rotation. No, I said this, but the rotation through your thigh. Try not to do the rotation too much with your foot because you can then rotate at the knee, and that's not the goal of this. In the other direction. Go. that come down. Next we're going to be doing is some pelvic tilts. So take your hands, grab at the top part of your hips, and you're going to rotate your pelvis downwards so you create space under your low back. And then exhale, rotate it so you contact the ground with your low back, and then tighten down with your abs. And then big inhale. Really trying to fill into the belly again, and then big exhale. While you're doing this, you should feel a little bit of squeeze, core, and glutes. Try to allow the rest of your body to relax and move naturally. One more. Nice. And then let's go ahead and roll up. And we're going to be getting onto our knees and toes. If this is uncomfortable for you, your knees, go ahead and just work on doing some gentle, light squatting to warm up the quads. Otherwise, follow along still. So you're going to be hip width distance on your knees and your toes, trying to get your feet nice and parallel. You're going to take your hands, put them behind your head with your fingers interlaced. You're going to sit down as far as you can comfortably towards your toes, close the elbows together, and then exhale, push your hips forward, open the hands up. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to come back this way. You want to keep a slight arch to the low back while you're doing this. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm really trying to think about using your glutes. You're pushing your hips forwards, trying to keep your torso nicely centered over your pelvis. And really drive your elbows backwards so you get that nice chest stretch. Go one more. And then in this position, let your feet come down flat. Again, try and keep your heels parallel to each other so you don't want to let them rotate out to the side. Kind of bring them inwards. Maintaining a nice hip distance. You're going to interlace the fingers like this, so thumbs point away. And then you're going to bring the arms up as you sit down. And then exhale. So it's that same hip motion, just different arms. And you should be able to sink down a little bit further. So you're going to get a little bit more stretching in your quads. Big inhale and big exhale. Really try and keep your abs tight. So when you're lifting your arms up over your head, you feel that nice stretch in your armpits. One more. Nice, okay. Down into a tabletop position. We're gonna do some wrist warm up. So get yourself centered over your wrists, and then we're going to gently circle. You're trying to circle around your wrist. If this feels like this is too much weight, bring yourself back closer to your knees and just work on it there. Otherwise, out here. You can just maintain a nice calm breathing pattern. Try and really push through all of your fingers down into the ground. Really feel that weight transferring from one hand into the other and then into the back. And then we're going to circle the other direction. Making sure you're really engaging downwards into the ground with your fingertips. And there we go. Now, However you want to sit comfortably here. You can be down, you can be up. If you want to stand, that's also fine. I'm just going to stay here so I'm nice and centered in the camera. So elbows 90 degrees at your sides, and you're going to bring your middle fingers in, trying to touch your forearms, and then open up, spread your fingers, and try to reach as far out to the sides and backwards as you can. And then try to touch the forearms, and then open, reaching as far back as you can, and back and forth. I like to exhale at both points, so inhale, and then exhale, inhale, and then exhale. Go one more. So this will be the last one. And again, let yourself relax a little bit, bring yourself back to the 90, and then you're gonna open up, trying to get your thumbs pointing downwards as much as possible. And then here, and try and again, point your thumbs downwards as much as possible. Try not to let your elbows flare out. So you're working on the rotation through your forearms. This one is really hard, so don't worry about your range. You're just trying to engage downwards. This will be the last one. There we go. Let your arms relax a little bit. And then we're going to stand up and get into a nice spread foot position. So try and keep yourself nice and vertical here. Just go front and side. So you want to think about having your shoulders stacked over your hips, over your knees, over your ankles. Interlace your fingers behind you, like so. So thumbs point toward your hips. Open your chest up nice and big, and then move your hands as far back as you can. Relax, exhale, inhale. And while you're doing this, make sure you're using your glutes, pushing your hips forward, your abs are engaged. You're also pushing your feet outwards to the sides. So you push your feet that way. Now there's a lot of pushing involved in this one. Try to maintain that nice postural form. Go one more of these arm movements. Relax. Maintain this. We're going to be doing some spread foot glides. So you're going to push your hips really far backwards. Do you feel that nice hamstring stretch? And then you're going to transition over towards one leg. Take a big breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Try to think about moving your hips on a straight line. So you don't want to come up or down. You're just moving strictly laterally. And you're trying to maintain that tension in that leg the whole time. So you're just transferring the tension from one side to the other. And one more on each leg. And then gently come up. And gently walk your feet back in together. Nice. Okay, next up, we're going to do some arm movements. So, first one we're going to do is big arm circles. So, we're going to make a Venn diagram with your hands, like so. Keep your knees slightly relaxed, abs engaged, glutes engaged. So, you're pushing your hips slightly forwards. And then trying to reach your hands as far as you can out to the sides. And then as you're crossing, you're really reaching towards that other side. Getting this nice calm breathing. You want to kind of feel this in your chest and your shoulder blades. Getting that nice big reach. And you're gonna pause and switch directions. And just that nice calm breathing, maintaining that ab tightness, the glutes engaged. Go a few more. And there we go. Nice. Last thing we're going to do is kind of warm up the head and neck. So, again, that nice standing posture, abs, glutes, slight knee bend. I want you to look down towards one armpit. And then look behind you. And then back to neutral. And another armpit. And then behind you and up. So you're kind of that way. And then back to neutral. So just back and forth with that. And trying to think about looking over and above the opposite shoulder. Nice calm breathing. We go one more on each side. It's always important to get the neck nice and warmed up when we're going to be doing high movement activities, because your neck has to stabilize when you're shifting and everything, especially given how much time people are probably using on computers right now. It's important to make sure you're getting that warmed up. So we're going to go ahead and do 1 minute of a cardio movement of your choice. So jumping jacks, high knees, running in place. If you want to do burpees, by all means, do some burpees. But you want to just make sure this is a movement you can comfortably do for the minute. Get your heart rate up, get your breathing up. So we'll get started with that. I'm going to put this on the ground so I can see it. In 3, 2, and let's go. So, like I said, jumping jacks, high knees, butt kickers, whatever you want to do, you can just go for it. If you want to do shadow boxing, it's always a fun one. But if you want it to be something that's pretty high energy movement, that will get your heart rate up. You're 20 seconds in. Just try and maintain your pace. Whichever one you're doing, you're probably doing some light bouncing on your feet. So try and make sure you're not really hitting the ground hard. You want it to be light. You want to have your abs engaged. Keeping your spine safe. 3 more seconds. And there we go. So that should be enough. Your heart rate's elevated. You're breathing kind of hard. That's the goal at least. So go ahead and grab some water. And I will go over the first 3 exercises. So we're going to be doing 3 6-minute rounds of pretty intense cardio movements. So the first round is going to be, vertical glide squats up first. So what this is going to look like, you're standing on one side of your space. You're going to squat down, shift your weight onto the outside leg, step over, transfer your hips, so your weight's onto this leg, step in, and stand. So it's down, step over, shift, step, and stand. All right, back and forth with this. If you want to make it more challenging, you can go down lower. That's one way to make it more challenging. Or you can try and go down on one foot and up on one foot. Right? There are ways to play with that to make it challenging for you. You want this to be difficult but manageable. Right? Next one is reverse bird dogs. Snap exercise, also commonly known as dead bug. So you're gonna bring knees to your forearms, and then opposite arm leg are dropping out towards the ground. You're reaching as far as you can, bring it together. Opposites together. The goal here is to keep your low back on the ground, your abs engaged. You don't want to let your ribs move too much. And you're just controlling your core while you do that. And the last one is a bent over row and extension. So you're going to push the hips backwards, get that nice hamstring tightness. Row your hands up so your elbows are parallel to the ground. And then reach your hands back, your palms face down, back to row and drop. Squeeze, extend, down, down. Right? So you have that pause in that row position, really squeeze, rotating your hands backwards. So those are the 3 movements. Now would be the time to ask if you need modifications or anything. I'm gonna assume that means no. So we'll be going through for 6 minutes. Should probably get through about 2 rounds of this. That's how that usually works out. Yeah, I think that's everything. So we'll get started with the spread foot glide squats. In 3, 2, and let's go. So down, step out, shift over, and up. Oh, right, numbers. So we'll be doing 8 to 12 of this one. Again, keeping your core engaged, pushing your hips backwards, stepping out. So transfer, step, transfer, up. Make sure you're using your glutes, feeling that squeeze as you're coming up. Keeping up that nice breathing pattern. You want to end on an even number. So we'll do 1 more on each leg. There we go. So next up is the reverse bird dog. 10 to 16 of these, again, ending on an even number. So I like to exhale as I'm reaching. If you want to exhale as you bring it up, totally can. This is a matter of kind of personal preference because there's compressive force at all points in this movement. But the goal here is to reach as far as you can with your limbs, keeping that low back firmly on the ground, holding with your abs. I like to think about driving through my heel while I'm doing this. If you want to point your foot, you totally can. Again, that's just kind of a matter of personal preference. They're going to work very similarly. One more on each side for me. And go ahead and come up. You do not have to keep pace with me or the numbers I'm doing. You want to just make sure you're challenging yourself, going at a pace that you find difficult. So get that hip backwards, abs are squeezed, and row, and extend, and down. You want to really feel this in the shoulder blades, pinching and squeeze. And try and fire up your triceps. When you're engaging, you're getting that big lockout. You want to make that a little harder, you can try and flare your wrists upwards so you get more tension. We're going 10 to 16 here. Again, you do not have to keep pace with me. But you want to make sure you're keeping tension in your glutes, so you're pushing your hips backwards and extending your head forwards to find that nice tension. One more. Nice. Okay, back to the spread foot glides. Just to be different, I'm gonna start on this side. So push the hips back, step over, and up. If you want to, you can reach your hands forwards as you're doing that movement. That'll help keep your torso going upright. You don't have to. You just want to make sure you're maintaining at least approximately your torso angle to your shin angle. So you don't want to be leaning too far forwards while you're doing this. And again, making sure you're engaging with your glutes while you're doing this. So push the hips back, feel the glutes stretch, and use them to come up as you're standing. Getting a nice breathing pattern. For the last one. Oops, that one a little bit different. And into the reverse bird dogs. So to the ground, tuck everything. Getting that nice extension, reaching your limbs as far as you can. I hope we're not hitting anything. That's why it's important. Make sure you scope out the space you're going to be working out in. Making sure you're getting that big reach and trying to keep your low back on the ground. And making sure you're going in opposite patterns. If you go same side, it's just more difficult. It's harder to get the appropriate oblique contraction. And that's the 6 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and finish the row and the extension just to get that done. Shouldn't take too long. So squeeze and squeeze. Let's go for 10 of them so we can get in that action still. Really fire up the shoulder blades, the lats. So again, pushing the hips back, feeling that glute squeeze. And you want to think about squeeze the shoulder blades and then extend. Go 3 more. And last one. And there we go, that is round 1. So, take a break, grab some water. Make sure you're still moving around. You don't want to be completely stationary during this rest period. So I will be demonstrating the next 3 exercises while you're resting. And then after about a minute or so, we can get into this next one. Okay. So what we're going to be doing here is forward lunging and reverse lunging. So I'm going to have 1 round or 1 time through be in the forward, 1 time through be in the reverse. If you know you have a preference for doing one of them due to hip or knee injuries, just do that one both times. Otherwise, try and do both. Okay? So the forward lunge, you're going to be starting at one side and then stepping forward, landing softly, coming down. You feel a lot of stretching, driving through that front leg and back up to your position. Step forwards and up. You do not have to touch the knee down unless you want to, and you really have that control. The important thing is to keep the low abs engaged and drive with that glute on that front leg. So here you're squeezing, you're getting tension, and then you're driving up, keeping the low abs engaged, keeping your abs squeezed. The reverse lunge, you step back, again, holding here, tension, and stand. Tension and stand. So the goal here is to keep everything tight, lower yourself down, feel that increased stretch, and drive up out of it. Next up is hollow bodies. So there's a lot of ways to progress or regress this movement. I'm going to show kind of the baseline one first, and then both sides of it. So we're going to start on the ground here. Squeeze the abs. The goal here is to keep the low back on the ground. You're going to reach forwards, bring your feet off the ground, and then come back down. All right, that's what we're going to be doing for this one. If you're finding that too difficult, bring your knees in. And so it's just kind of like a crunch, but you're getting your feet off the ground. If you're finding this one to be a little too easy, bring your hands up. And then, right, you can play around with how far your hands are above you. Further that way, harder it is. And the last one, downward dogs. So we're gonna get into a tabletop position. Here, get everything nice and set. Really focus on that slight arch in the low back, and you're gonna press up into downward dog, and then come back into tabletop. The goal here is to really think about driving with your arms. So you're pushing your arms forwards, and that's driving you up into that downward dog position, feeling that hamstring and calf stretch. Letting your heels sink down, and then back to the tabletop. So we'll just be pressing into and out of that, really trying to work on getting that upper back to fire. So same as that first one, 6 rounds through, or 6 minutes. 8 to 12 with the lunges, 8 to 12 the hollow body, 8 to 12 of the downward dog. So nice consistent numbering there. So we'll be going 6 minutes on the clock, starting with either the forward or reverse lunge, your choice, whatever you feel like doing. In 3, 2, and let's go. 8 to 12. Keeping the abs engaged, right? Finding that tension, using it to squeeze out. Try not to let your knee drive inwards. You want to keep the knee out. Not out a lot, but just don't let it fall towards the middle of your body. You want to keep it slightly on the outside edge. And trying to maintain that distance with your stepping. So that front leg is pretty close to 90 degrees to the ground. And again, 8 to 12, counting each movement. I have totally lost track, so we're going to do one more on each side. There we go. So hollow body up next. So to the ground, whatever progression you are working on, going 8 to 12 with them, focusing on the low back. Big exhale, big inhale. Try not to think about moving with your head. Think about moving with your upper chest. Ooh, there we go. And the downward dog presses. So into that tabletop position on your toes, find that slight arch to the low back, and driving your chest towards your knees, and then come back down. Big exhale. Inhale. So you really want to try to feel this in the upper back. You're kind of engaging, pushing your hands forward, using that to move your body into position. Don't worry about how extended your knees are, how close your feet are to the ground. The goal here is really to focus on the arms and the upper back. So big exhale. As you drive up, trying to keep that low back nicely arched. Don't let it round out. I'm gonna go for 2 more. Again, I'm gonna give whatever number feels nice and challenging to you in that 8 to 12 amount. Okay, to the reverse lunges. So focus on the abs. Step it back, drive it up. You don't have to do the arm movement that I'm doing. I just find kind of helps with that cross body rhythmic action, kind of like you're running. So find that tension, feel that hip flexor stretching as you go down. Make sure you're holding with the abs. Big inhale, big exhale. Again, you do not have to pace me. And there we go. To the hollow body. So, to the ground. Again, finding that low ab tension, or low back to the ground. And reaching. Right, wherever you want to have your arms. If you need to, have the knees. Relax down. All right, whatever modality you're working on. You're gonna have your hands behind your head. Totally fine. On for 8 to 12. Next up, downward dog presses. Find that arch, getting that tabletop, fingers are nicely spread, and driving upwards. Big inhale, big exhale. Woo. Okay, that's round 2 done. Excellent time to get some water. Again, make sure you're still moving around. So, just like the other one, I will demonstrate the movements for round 3 while you are continuing your break. Feel free to, if you want to try them out just to see how it's going to feel, you totally can, but you want to make sure you're allowing your heart rate to slow down. So first up is going to be single leg Romanian deadlifts. So, also hip hinge. So you're going to be on one leg. This leg kind of comes backwards. You're reaching down, feeling that tension, and then coming up. Trying to work on your balance and your hip control. So keeping that slight arch to the low back, feeling that tension in that down leg. And this leg tries to match your torso line. You can bend that post leg as much as you need to, right? If you want to have it bent like this, that's totally fine. You just want to make sure you can still feel tension, hamstring, and in the glute. 6 to 10 per leg is what we'll be doing there. Next up is Superman's. So kind of the opposite of the hollow body. Go to the ground. The goal here, keep the hips down and as much as possible the rib cage, but it's going to come up a fair amount. So the goal is to just hold that ab tightness. Again, you can control the difficulty by controlling where your arms are. So you're going to arch up, trying to get the glutes squeezed, the low back, holding with the abs. You're looking forwards, and then you come down. So nice big exhale, and then down. And down, right? And if you want to, have your arms all the way forwards, and then down. Thing to focus on with that one is holding the abs, holding the glutes, trying not to feel it in the low back as much. Last one for this round is elbow climbing push-ups. So you're going to get into a plank. Elbow goes where your hands were, and then hands go where your elbows were. So, and you want to alternate. So right hand first, left hand first, left hand first. All right, that way you kind of are changing your pattern as you're going through, but keeping that plank, so abs, glutes, pushing your heels backwards. Those are the key points. Take another like 15 seconds or so, and then we'll get started with round 3. So, first one we're going to be doing is the single leg Romanian deadlift. 6 to 10 per side, 8 to 12 of the Supermans, and 10 to 16 of the elbow climbing push-ups. Okay, so 6 minutes on the clock in 3, 2, and let's go. Start with whichever leg you want to. Abs are engaged. You're leaning down, feeling that tension. Big exhale as you come up. Remember, you can bend that knee as much as you want to or need to. You want to be able to try to maintain that balance. Engage, keeping the glutes squeezed on that post leg. Trying to maintain the balance. You don't have to try to touch the ground, right? The goal here is trying to keep your chest square. So you don't want to let that chest reach down. Then you're compromising that upper back engagement. And you finish however many you're wanting to do in that 6 to 10 range. Switch legs. And keeping that back leg kind of matching your torso line. The other hand kind of works as balance aid. And for that 6 to 10. Be right here. Okay, to the ground for the Supermans. So whatever arm position you're wanting to take, hold with the glutes, hold with the abs, and you're reaching hands forwards and backwards, hands forward, feet back. Going for 8 to 12, nice big exhale as you come up. Don't worry about how far you're getting off the ground. Goal here is to try and create that extension. Your hands are going really far forwards. Feet are going really far back. Getting that nice exhale. 8 to 12. This will be the last one. Nice. And then the elbow climbing push-ups. So, into that plank position. Heels backwards, glutes engaged. Elbow to where your hand, and hand to where your elbow. So make sure you're switching which hand, right? So left first, right first, right first. Calmly breathing and trying to control the swing of your hips. So you should be really feeling this in the abs as well as in the arms. That is 10 to 16. I want to count each set. Oh, I totally forgot which one it is. Sorry. All right, single leg. I need those. So switch this leg you're starting on. Totally zoned out while I was doing those climbing push-ups. Nice big exhale. As you're coming up, trying to find your glute and squeeze to drive your hip forwards. Woo! Right, still all right to lose your balance. Just get back into it. To the other leg. Try to match that torso and leg line. Keeping your head nice and relaxed so it tracks with your rib cage. A couple more and then to the Supermans. Nice, okay, back to the ground. Getting that extension, or you're gonna have your arms close while you're doing that. Totally all right. Nice big exhale. Trying to keep the glutes squeezed real hard, and the abs squeezed real hard. And we'll go ahead and finish the last two exercises in this. If we get that nice complete round 3. I'm gonna go one more. Nice. And then the last one, round 3, is the climbing push-ups. 10 to 16. So get yourself set into that nice plank and then get started. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're alternating hands. So right first and then left first. And there we go. Woo! Those are the 3 rounds done. And go ahead and take a little breather. Let the heart calm down. Let your breathing calm down. And then we'll cool down for the last probably 6 minutes at that point. I don't know about all of you who are watching this, but I always find those climbing push-ups to be very challenging. Ah. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do to start our cool down, get into a nice standing posture. So hip distance, feet are nicely pointed forward, little knee bend, glutes are squeezed, abs are engaged. Just relax your hands. I'm gonna be taking some nice deep breaths here. So we're gonna keep the knees slightly relaxed, glutes are squeezed. If you want to, you can close your eyes. Just thinking about belly into ribs, and then ribs down, belly in. I have to use the hand motions to guide me. So belly out, up, ribs down, belly in. And you totally do not have to use the hands. I just find it to be a helpful one. We're going to do one more. We got a message. Oh, that is more of my, I don't know, not assistant, but I guess aid. Okay, so first thing we're going to be doing for the cool down, we're going to come down to the ground. And you're going to get into a spread foot position, like so. If you cannot comfortably sit upright here, feel free to bend your knees or to put your hands behind you. So you can push yourself that nice vertical position. But if you can't sit comfortably upright, that is the goal here. So what you're going to do, first thing, try and push your head high up as you can, extend the knees, and flex your toes towards you real hard. And we're going to take 2 breaths in this position. Nice. And now from here, take your hands, and you're going to reach towards one foot. So however far you can get, you want to feel that stretch on this side and in that groin. So focus primarily on the opposing hand. So if you're reaching towards your left foot, focus on reaching with that right hand. Nice calm breaths. Try and keep the knees extended down, flexing the feet towards you. It helps a little bit if you roll that other leg out to the side slightly. But one more nice big breath. And gently come back up. Reset in this position briefly. Again, if you need to have your hands here to comfortably sit or bend the knees, totally fine. And then we're going to be going over towards this side. So knees are locked, slightly twist out with that one. Reaching with that opposing hand. Some nice deep breathing. Trying to feel that stretch. Groin and the lats here a little bit. Maybe you feel this in the calf. Everyone's different in where they're tight. And then gently let that release, come back up. And we're gonna go straight forwards here. So if you need to bend your knees, totally fine. But you wanna think about trying to hinge at your hip as much as possible until you get as far as you can with hinging, and then let yourself round down. So the arms are reaching nice and far forwards. You're keeping the knees extended, flexing the feet, and then just calmly breathing. It helps if you think about trying to bring your chest to the ground. and gently come back up. Nice. Okay. Last set of stretches we're going to be doing. I think that will be time. Yes. Okay. So you're going to lay onto the ground, and you're going to extend your legs forwards. Arms go into a T. Go into a T. So you're going to bring one leg up to 90 degrees, and then you're going to let it fall down towards the ground as much as you can, keeping the opposing arm on the ground. Once you feel like your leg will not fall anymore on its own, take the hand on that same side and gently apply downward force to your knee. Again, keeping this opposing hand on the ground. So you should feel this in the top of your hip, maybe in the low back, maybe in your chest. Nice calm breathing here. Go one more breath. And then gently bring that knee back up. Extend it out. And then we switch. So this knee comes up. And you let it fall over, trying to keep that knee as close to your body as you can. Letting it hang down towards the ground. When you hit that point that feels like it's no longer going to move, just gently apply downwards pressure. Again, keeping that opposing hand on the ground. Nice big inhales and exhales. Allow yourself to relax, feeling that stretch in the hip. Last big breath. And bring that back up and extend out. And that was the Dryland fitness class. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording.